feeling instant recognition, as though I were looking at a familiar, much-beloved face that I had almost forgotten. That was what the land meant to me, a beloved face I longed to see again. And as the years progressed, I laid the foundations for my return. I worked and studied. A full scholarship brought me to Stanford, and to the attention of a professor who enthusiastically recommended me for a summer job at an excavation in Egypt's western desert. In June, at the end of my junior year, I boarded a flight to Cairo. Even now, in the darkness of my California bedroom, I remember how my eyes ached from the sunlight glaring on white-hot sand. I smell the sunscreen on my skin and feel the sting of the wind peppering my face with desert grit. These memories make me happy. With a trowel in my hand and the sun on my shoulders, this was the culmination of a young girl's dreams. How quickly dreams become nightmares. I boarded the plane to Cairo as a happy college student. 3 months later, I returned home, a changed woman. I did not come back from the desert alone. A monster followed me. In the dark, my eyelids spring open. Was that a footfall? A door creaking open? I lie on damp sheets, heart battering itself against my chest. I am afraid to get out of bed, and afraid not to. Something is not right in this house. After years of hiding, I know better than to ignore the warning whispers in my head. Those urgent whispers are the only reason I am still alive. I've learned to pay heed to every anomaly, every tremor of disquiet. I notice unfamiliar cars driving up my street. I snap to attention if a coworker mentions that someone was asking about me. I make elaborate escape plans long before I ever need them. My next move is already planned out. In 2 hours, my daughter and I can be over the border and in Mexico with new identities. Our passports with new names are already tucked away in my suitcase. We should have left by now. We should not have waited this long. But how do you convince a 14-year-old girl to move away from her friends? Tari is the problem. She does not understand the danger we're in. I pull open the nightstand drawer and take out the gun. It is not legally registered, and it makes me nervous keeping a firearm under the same roof with my daughter. But after 6 weekends at the shooting range, I know how to use it. My bare feet are silent as I step out of my room and move down the hall past my daughter's closed door. I conduct the same inspection that I have made 1,000 times before, always in the dark. Like any prey, I feel safest in the dark. In the kitchen, I check the windows and the door. In the living room, I do the same. Everything is secure. I come back up the hall and pause outside my daughter's bedroom. Tari has become fanatical about her privacy, but there is no lock on her door, and I will never allow there to be one. I need to be able to look in, to confirm that she is safe. The door gives a loud squeak as I open it, but it won't wake her. As with most teenagers, her sleep is akin to a coma. The first thing I notice is the breeze, and I give a sigh. Once again, Tari has ignored my wishes and left her window wide open, as she has so many times before. It feels like sacrilege bringing the gun into my daughter's bedroom, but I need to close that window. I step inside and pause beside the bed, watching her sleep, listening to the steady rhythm of her breathing. I remember the first time I laid eyes on her, red-faced and crying in the obstetrician's hands. I had been in labor 18 hours, and was so exhausted I could barely lift my head from the pillow. But after one glimpse of my baby, I would have risen from bed and fought a legion of attackers to protect her. That was the moment I knew what her name would be. I thought of the words carved into the great temple at Abu Simbel, words chosen by Ramses the Great to proclaim his love for his wife. Nefertari, for whom the sun doth shine. My daughter, Nefertari, is the one and only treasure that I brought back with me from Egypt, and I am terrified of losing her. Tari is so much like me. It's as if I'm watching myself sleeping. When she was 10 years old, she could already read hieroglyphs. At 12, she could recite all the dynasties down to the Ptolemies. She spends her weekends haunting the Museum of Man. She is a clone of me in every way.